Good evening. My name is Jake, Feather Archery here in Hillsdale, Michigan. Let's talk about drawing our bow, the correct ways to draw our bow, and some of the ways that are incorrect that we see some people drawing their bows, and the reasons that we don't want to do that. So, proper way to draw our bow is we're going to have our bow hand, about eye height, right at our nose, and then we're going to have our elbow, our drawing elbow, about the same height, about as high as our eyes, and we're going to draw back, and we're going to rotate that shoulder blade backwards, okay, around and back, kind of like a rowing motion, all right? It's a very efficient way to draw our bow. We're going to be activating the lats and the traps in our back, using that shoulder blade to pull that bow back, and it's a very efficient motion. And when we hit draw, if you look, my bow is basically on target when I hit full draw, okay? So there's very little additional movement that needs to happen once we're at full draw. So if we look at some of the ways that are incorrect, the low elbow, which is very common, people try to draw with that elbow low, and they're drawing almost into their chest when they do it. It's hard to make the muscles activate for me to actually do that. But you're using a lot more of your arm and your shoulder to do that. And so people with shoulder injuries, you're using muscles in your shoulder that are actually, it's going to hurt more to do that. So the other thing we run into is if you draw with a low elbow, you now have to pick everything up when you're at full draw to actually get into anchor. So there's a lot of additional movement there at the end just to get your pin on target. So low elbow is going to take a lot more energy and a lot less efficiency to get that bow at full draw. And then the other one we see a lot is going to be the sky draw, where you're coming way down after draw. There's a lot of movement to get that pin on target at the end of that. So, the most efficient way to do it is have that pin as close to target as possible when you hit your anchor, because that's the best part of your hold. The first part of your hold is the best. The longer you're holding, you may start shaking or what have you. So you want to use the best part of that hold to be as close to target as possible. So we want that eye height, rotate it around, expand your chest, and you're ready to fire. So that's the correct way to draw your bow. Remember, it's activating your lats and your traps in your back. Pulling back, expanding that chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to look us up, featherarchery.com.